everybody. Welcome to the Life West Leadership Line. Today, we have a very, very special guest, Dr. Selina Sigafoose-Jackson from Pennsylvania is with us. She's Vice President of the ICA. She's one of the original founders and board member of the League of Chiropractic Women, and she comes from a long lineage of chiropractors in her family. And so, Selina, welcome to the Life Leadership Line.
Hi, thank you.
Good to have you on. What's going on over there in Pennsylvania?
Well, I can tell you that, we're in Pennsylvania, which is called the Keystone State, and we're located in York, which is just north of the Mason-Dixon. So technically we're northeast. But right now it is so gorgeous outside, sunny, warm. However, tomorrow night we're supposed to get some slushy snow. So I'm enjoying the sunshine while we have it.
Wow. Well, welcome to this fun climate stuff that we're going through all these days,
Yeah.
But I know that, yourself and Kevin, your husband, Kevin Jackson, I know you guys have a very thriving practice, and I know you've put a lot of energy and time into it, and I know you guys see a lot of people. But I guess, I think that a great conversation we can start off with some questions I want to kind of lead with is, for our listeners to hear about is, I don't want to talk so much about the COVID stuff, but, it's kind of like I feel like we played that game. I want to start moving forward, right? But obviously, you kept your practice going and there's reasons why, right? I mean, things that you've looked at. So what have been some of the silver linings or things that have come out for you around your practice and around what's going on?
That is a great question. A silver lining. I didn't call it that, but that's a fantastic way to call it. So, having grown up in chiropractic, I've always felt isolated. I've talked about in the past that I felt like a lone ranger, that outside of the chiropractic circles growing up at DE, when I would literally leave Dynamic Essentials, I'd feel like I had a target on me. Like everybody knew that I was different. And, you just never felt comfortable outside of the chiropractic family. And so what I've noticed over the years is more and more people are entering the practice with a different mindset, and it is getting bigger and bigger. And the silver lining in this COVID crisis is it is opening people's minds massively, like catapulting the thought process that, wait a minute, something's not right here. Whether they look and see these numbers don't add up, or, well, first they said all we had to do was wash our hands and not touch our face. Now they say we have to shelter in place and put a mask on. And how many of us are, if we have a mask on, are touching our face? So or they're seeing different videos and their minds are being blown. So they're open. It's like the fields are ripe with harvest right now for people ready.
Absolutely. And, the interesting thing is this is like, going back, 30, I'm almost 40 years in practice. But going back 30 years ago, even, 35 years ago, I don't know how long you've been in practice. You've been in practice quite some time. We used to have to force this stuff down to people. We would be saying, no, but look at these stats, and this doesn't make sense. And that, we were like on a soapbox because we had the information. It didn't make sense, and we wanted to share it with people so they could see how crazy it was.
Yes.
And now they're coming in saying, this doesn't make sense. They educated, the consumer is so much more educated these days, and they're seeing good stuff.
It is. And I think what we have to be careful of as practitioners is not getting on the soapbox, not saying, I've been saying this for years and chiropractic has been saying this and you need to know this and, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda-ville, and if you would have. And I think we have to be very careful and be very graceful and be very humble and just kind of smile, like a kid says, oh yeah, if I put my hand on a burner, it's gonna burn my hand. Oh, you were right. Not an I told you so. Yeah. I think that gives us the opportunity. How many people come into our office complaining from another chiropractor, complaining about the technique or that they never got adjusted by that other chiropractor or whatever? And how easy it is to join the bandwagon of, yeah, I heard that so-and-so's a so-and-so versus, well, they're probably just doing the best they can with the information they have and just being real careful to be graceful. And
people are more receptive to that anyways. People know when someone's bashing or somebody is, even on their soapbox. And, it's been a big lesson, for people of, my generation in chiropractic and probably yours also, because it's kind of how we grew up. Right? Because nobody wanted to listen to us, so you had to pull a soapbox, right? Your dad did that, right? He would do free chicken dinners and things like that, where he'd get 600 people to come here. They came for dinner, but they heard the story, right? Because otherwise they weren't hearing the story. So, and it wasn't about doing something free. It was about how do I get these people all in one place? And food does it every single time, right? So, but it's so interesting because you know what? It really is one of the themes that I've been watching. But noticing around the life leadership, the leadership line that we're doing, the Life Plus leadership line, is that the communication has always been talked about, like how do we do this, and it's really the Socratically, someone walks in and they say, these numbers don't add up. Perfect. Why do you think they don't? Well, it doesn't look right. Good. Well, what do you think we could do, to make the difference, or why is one family member get sick and the other one doesn't, and and asking the questions and leading instead of lecturing,
Yes.
Because they don't get it when we lecture.
Right. We have said, mine and Kevin's podium points are that if you're not doing some people call it a lay lecture or an orientation, we call it a doctor's report. If you're not doing a doctor's report, you are so totally missing the boat. It's our moment to shine, but I have found during this crisis, we normally do group talks, but my room is small where I do it. So we've actually gone to one-on-one, which I've never, ever done. One-on-one. Yeah. So I'm using it as a practice stage on what I can say, how I can say it, how we can do, like you say, create a conversation, because I'm not going to do that in a group personally. And, my claim to fame is I do a doctor's report in 14 minutes. So if I have 14 minutes, how can I rotate this and change it so that coming out of this, again, in 31 years in practice, I don't have all the answers. And I'm not naive enough to think that I do, nor do I have the best way all the time. And it's allowing me to evolve. But I will never stop saying that a doctor's report, an orientation, lay lecture is your creme de la creme opportunity to be your own rock star, but really get the message across for them to say, you know what? I heard that virologist on YouTube and they were kind of saying the same thing. You don't have to say, oh yeah, I told you so, but you won't have a chance to even insinuate that if you're not doing your lay lecture.
It's exactly it. And, the other thing too is that with a health talk, lay lecture, doctor's report, it's a time that they can actually feel you. And feel your humanness. Because, let's face it, people go through 4,400 hours of chiropractic college and some people don't get the picture, right? It's just what happens, and it's okay, So we can't expect someone to get it from a consultation, a report of findings, and then a class, right? Whether it's a 14-minute class or it's a 30-minute class, whatever it is, or doctor's report, we can't expect them to get it. But what we can expect them to get is, wow, this person, I trust them. I feel them, right? All those soft skill stuff that's more innately driven, right? That I want to bring my family here.
Yes,
I don't understand it, but I want to bring my family here. I think that's one thing that people don't understand either. It's not about what you say. For some people it is. For some of the audience, I should say, for some of the patients it is. But and it's important to say good things, so don't think not to. But it's also about how you say, you are, what you bring to the table, and the passion that you have.
Right. I believe too, moving into how do we recreate ourselves moving forward? I believe that if you can really look at yourself in the mirror and question your processes and procedures, not from a script standpoint, because I'm far from a script, but from, I always talk about our successes are based on our deposits that we've already made. So how do we right now draw on those deposits to move forward with what we've done? So it's not what do we need to do to go forward? It's what we've done behind us that's keeping us where we're at, but now how can we alter that so we can keep going forward?
Yeah. Whereas it's common, hey you, it's common knowledge. Have her come back in the screen.
I'm back.
Hi, Chloe. Good to see you. Welcome to the Life West Leadership Line.
Thank you.
Great
How
to
are
see
you? You too.
I'm so excited. I saw that you popped an application into a chiropractic school. I heard about that, right?
I did.
Oh my gosh. So our viewers, we might have another one moving into chiropractic from the Sigafoose-Jackson clan. So awesome to see you.
Bye.
It's so interesting talking about that because when we're looking at, what we're saying and how we're saying it, and that kind of stuff, people tend to say, well, I don't know why I lost them. I don't know why they went somewhere else, or I don't know why they stopped care, right? Because they never really had the opportunity, to give that talk or to be able to share. We always felt the cornerstone of our practice was our class that we gave, our health class that we gave, every Wednesday night. I mean, every Wednesday night, whether it was one person or 20, we gave it. Never canceled it. No one was there. That's a different story, but we always gave it, right? It didn't matter. And no matter what happened, it was always the same. And I would get to the point, Selina, where I go, oh God, I got a doctor's report today. I want to go home and eat. I just saw a lot of people. That was my educating, right?
Right.
The minute I get out there,
oh yeah,
click into a different space, share your story, share your heart. We're saving lives.
Right.
And keeping it simple.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, again, not to belabor a point, but what the doctor's report does for me, and I've said this so often, is that it reminds me, because, we're chiropractic patients too. We're not just chiropractors.
Right.
We're chiropractic patients. And when I hear myself, and I hear myself talk about how Gray's Anatomy tells us that the nervous system conducts and coordinates all organs and structures of the human body, and that the role that we play is to make sure that that nervous system is safe within the 24 bones of the spine. And if those bones go out of alignment, it's going to interfere with the nervous system's ability to conduct and coordinate. And I hear that in the doctor's report, and I'm like, can I want what I'm selling.
Yeah. I
want it. And so it just confirms to me, number one, who I am, what I do, why I do what I do. And number two, I'm a massive believer of planting seeds. You just saw Chloe Jackson, a seed that was planting and blooming. And I believe in the doctor's report, I am planting my seeds of health, my seeds that the body's constantly regenerating and repairing. And we are created to build health and live well and live strong. I'm saying that for me.
Yeah.
People get to hear what I'm saying to me.
Yeah.
Because I claim that for me.
Totally get it. And the interesting thing right now, let's just look at silver linings again. People want to hear that. I mean, people, if they came into offices where they had back pain, neck pain, migraines, menstrual issues, whatever, enuresis, whatever it is, we can put labels on all this stuff. And chiropractic does well. The body does well. The body heals and it heals better when there's no interference in it, right? But now the question is how do I get healthy? Like, there's people outside right now walking who never walk.
Yeah.
There's people outside right now, that are sheltered in place that are doing exercise 3 times a day, walking or doing whatever, that they never did that. That they don't do that. Now they want to hear this story, right?
Right.
And it's not the chiropractic story. It's the health story.
It's the life story.
And how we fit into it, right? It's not about us cramming chiropractic.
Right.
It's about us sharing, this is what health is, and here's our piece to it, right?
Correct. It's the truth. This is the truth. It's not even our truth anymore, because like I said earlier, people are walking in with the truth. Yeah. So it used to belong to us because we were the only ones pushing it. It's not just ours anymore. And that's something that it's difficult to give that up, because on one hand, That's what we've always said. I told you so kind of thing. But on the other hand, this has been our forefathers' dreams. People are beginning to understand. Now, that does not mean that we don't have people doing the la, 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 la. But it means that more and more people are able to take their hands off and hear. And you know, when you talk about people getting outside and walking, there's a term that's been used recently that makes me sort of want to vomit, and it's the new normal. And I want to say this, first of all, what we're seeing is not normal. So we can't call that the new normal, but people getting out, people eating together around the table, walking, we're just going back to normal.
Yeah.
As opposed to a new normal.
Absolutely. And you know what? I've never thought about that, because you know what? Growing up, family dinners every night, you know, no cell phones, right? If someone called on the telephone and asked for me and my mom picked it up, she'd say, I'm sorry, we're having dinner. Call them after dinner, and they'd hang up the phone, right? It wasn't like, you know,
yeah.
You're so true. I mean, we are going back to normal, spending time. I think it's maybe for some people a little bit too much time, you know, cooped up inside, which might not be healthy, but just spending that time, and people are meditating now, and people are doing them, people who are taking advantage, right? To literally take advantage of this time, not to fight with your spouse and do that kind of stuff and have your kids leave you, but to, you know, how do we nourish and grow ourselves, right? And you mentioned something. You talked about like taking inventory, you know, of the past. I wrote it down, taking inventory of the past, right? You know, and that's what moves us forward, right? What have you seen? What are some examples for you that you've seen that with you and Kevin in your practice?
So, you know, we're all looking at our numbers of the office, and there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Those numbers are going to be down. And when this first hit, we literally went down as low as we were at a 30% for 1 week. And then we went to like 45, and now it's creeping back up. And now, you know, they're lifting some of these restrictions. So we're just seeing the practice come back naturally on its own. But what has put us in a space of being able to maintain at a point where it was valuable from a business standpoint, it was valuable to stay open, is that what we've already done. So what we've already done is we had a process in the office that was effortless to enter. Now, Kevin and I don't go by appointments. I don't say that that's for everybody, but it was an effortless process. Some things that we've already done, and a majority of chiropractors do it, is that we have the ability to communicate with patients via our websites and emails. And, you know, Kevin does our Facebook. So we can communicate and say, hey, this is what they're saying, and this is how we are cooperating. You know, there are mandates. This is how we're cooperating. But yes, the office is open. Yes, this is how we're greeting you coming into the office. Yes, this is how we're trying to control the volume of people that are in the office. But our doors are still open. So those were very effortless to go into. One, because we believe in having a staff large enough to be ready for an influx. So we always have plenty of staff. Speaking of staff, what we've done in the past is our staff is highly educated, and we are very touchable, Kevin and I, which means any questions or concerns, they know they can call, email, text, come to us, so that if they had questions and concerns, we could alleviate it. And we gave them the freedom to choose to not come in if they felt concerned. And out of 13 employees, we only had one that said that they wouldn't come in because their mother, she wanted to be there, but the mother said no. So then it's the education process and how we have taught them that, you know, how the body heals itself. And we have never once said that chiropractic cures the coronavirus. We have always said, regardless of what some national and global organizations might say, that chiropractic does impact the function of the human body via the immune system, via the nervous system, via the cardiac system. All systems improve under chiropractic care. So this is stuff that we had already done. The flow of our office is an effortless flow so that people don't coagulate in one area. And we've always done that to see volume, but it's made it easy to do this quote unquote as best as possible, although I don't agree with it, social distancing. Yeah. So how they come into the office and they circle back out, they don't run into each other. So, you know, that's a minor little things that have added up to just make this an effortless flow.
Yeah, but it's cool that you can look at that. And I'm sure there's things that you're doing now that might translate when when this when it's lifted and people can start congregating and coming back in and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
We've got to learn from the past, like you said. Look and see what we did. How do we refine it, and how do we move that forward? We have the answer, right?
Right. Exactly. I think we have to not be afraid to get out of our own way.
Yeah.
And one of the things that my dad and many coaches have talked about is that stop thinking so much. Stop analyzing this so much. Stop what-ifing every single thing. Just get in there and do it and trust the process. Again, principle number 6, all processes take time. And so just be patient with yourself and be patient with others and know that there are assholes. There are assholes in this world. But you either attract them or you don't. And they may come in, but they may not like what they see and they'll leave, and that's a good thing. We won't carry ourselves with them. But for the most part, people are good. Yeah. People are lovely and kind and considerate and compassionate. And that's what I see through this. I see the assholes, but more dominantly, I see a lot of beautiful people.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate that.
I got it. And what I think one of the lessons out of this that we can all take is compassion. I think you said the word. It's we can become more compassionate for somebody. We're standing in line to go into a grocery store. We can be compassionate, allowing people to move ahead of us. We can, the beautiful thing of going back to where you said where we came from, right, was, it's okay. You can go ahead of me, and have an older person go or do whatever. It's like
right.
It's not a rush, right? And I'm really seeing that there's a lot that we can take from what's been going on, because I believe that there's been a reset on our planet. I was just on the phone last night with India, right? And it was morning time in India, and they said, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful." They're in Delhi. They said it's not even hot. It's usually boiling hot because of all the pollution that keeps it down. They're seeing clouds they've never seen before.
Oh, wow.
Seeing mountains, they're seeing things, and the air, birds are chirping where they weren't ever chirping before. I mean, all these things happen in the country, but this is all over the world. I mean, so we've reset Mother Nature, and if it took a virus for Mother Nature to make this happen, well, then God bless.
Right. Well, right.
Everything's perfect, right? There's no wrong.
Absolutely. We're not going to escape this by human means. There's no earthly way that a government can mandate anything to make this go away. And that's what people are understanding. It is the process of time. Human beings, if we look at our economy right now, if we look at the unemployment rate, if we look at everything, it cannot be fixed by human means.
Yeah.
So that is where we have to be willing to finally surrender. Because we can't force this process. We must surrender, but in surrendering, we must trust the process.
Yeah.
Must.
Well, that's the interesting thing, because that trust is something that we've got to bring from inside of us. We can't just go, yeah, I trust it. Like you said, when you give that talk, you're selling it to you. You want to buy it when you say it, right? So to speak. And it really, everything is an inside job. And as chiropractors, we know that it's an inside job. Get out of our heads and the external stuff and go here. Things just start shifting for us on the outside.
Right.
I appreciate it. We can talk forever. We do a lot of times. We'll be on the phone. We could be driving somewhere and we could just be talking. Call for one and end up speaking for 30. But I just appreciate you. I appreciate all you're doing for chiropractic. You and Kevin. Kevin's involved in it locally in Pennsylvania. And, you're the vice president of the ICA right now. And all the work you've done, with the colleges and you're lecturing and being an example and being a mom and a grandma, and all the things around that. I just want to just say thank you. It's just such an honor. And I know that our women students are always looking for mentors in the female, hierarchy, because it's important, because obviously it's different than and I'm just really, really thrilled that you're one of those. So thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for being on the leadership line.
Thank you. It's my honor. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. And for all of our listeners today, Selina is truly somebody who walks her talk, but she lives her talk, lives it from the heart. So I got a lot just from the conversation, and I appreciate you being with us today. I know you can take away also, have some great takeaways. And just make sure you love your people, make sure you love yourself, live your life from above down, inside out, and don't forget that, our ability to heal is far greater than most people have been told or have been taught, especially for our
Amen.
kids. So I'll see you at the next leadership line. And until then, stay safe and spread the word about health and chiropractic.
Thank you.